Welcome to BattleBots at Home, your #1 place for some robot fighting action. This time around, things are heating up in the competition as we're moving on to round 2 of the Fight Night rounds, and we'll begin to see robots fight for the second time during the season. Tonight we have a nice mix of 0-1 bots hoping to bounce back from the previous loss, as well as 1-0 bots hoping to continue their undefeated streak and go to 2-0. Some of those 1-0 bots include Pump Up and Tough, who were able to incapacitate their previous opponents using their lifters. They'll be hoping to do that again this time around. We have bots like Tension and Heartbreak, who are coming off of a first round loss and hoping to bounce back. And of course, for our main event, we have the return of the reigning champion Bite Force going up against Inverse. Both these bots have a long history. They fought each other twice already. Let's see who will settle the score in this main event fight. But for our first fight of the night, we have the horizontal spinner of Wave going up against the large flipper of Alien. Both these bots got dominant wins in their first matches, but now it's time to see how they do in a second fight, see if they can continue to be undefeated. Let's head down to the box. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Just a reminder of what's at stake here. Both these bots are 1-0, and this will be to determine who will be the first 2-0 bot of the season. They'll have a good chance of getting to the top 32. And right now, it looks like that bot is going to be Alien, getting good flips on Wave right off the bat. That spinner just trying to do damage, but they're getting flung through the air. They might just go out of the arena. Oh no, this is horrible. Alien's flipper has broken off, and just like that, within the first 30 seconds of the fight, they are weaponless. I was not expecting that. They were doing so good. They were getting good flips on Wave, but they won't be getting any more flips after this. Meanwhile, Wave spinning that dangerous bar up to speed, tearing a piece off of Alien. Although you gotta commend them, they seem to be they're not scared at all. They keep ramming into Wave. They're gonna try to break that spinner using their body, I suppose. There isn't much left to do. The flipper's gone, but they aren't scared. They're just slamming Wave into the walls. That's a good technique. That's pretty alright. Wave just trying to do more damage. They ripped off the flipper, but they're not doing much else. Ooh, underneath the pulverizer. That's a way. That's a good way for Alien to get back some damage points. Use the hazards to their advantage. Now they don't have primary weapon. Alien slamming Wave into the wall once again. Wave just trying to get that spinner up to speed. It takes a good amount of time to get some energy in there. And every time it hits them, they have to reset. Alien, using what's left of the flipper as a clamping arm. That's smart. They're using it like a grabber and getting Wave stuck on the screws. That could have gone bad. So yeah, Alien's doing pretty good despite losing their flipper. They're using the hazards to their advantage. We're about halfway through this fight. If this goes to the judges, I don't know who will win. Wave definitely is winning on damage, but Alien just being so good at controlling Wave where they want to go. Wave really needs to make sure they can spin up. And Alien kind of just taking the hits right now. They really need to be perfect in this fight to make up for the loss of their primary weapon. All getting slammed into the corner. And another good hit. And now they're getting hit by the pulverizer. And Wave is really coming back from this come-behind victory. And right now, if Wave was low on control and aggression points before, they've definitely regained them. Once again, adding on to the damage. And Alien just has to, their best chance of winning is to get a KO right now. But without that flipper, I don't know how they're going to do that. Wave getting a good hit. No! And speaking of, without that flipper, they can't self-right. It looks like Wave's the one who got the KO. Alien cannot self-right. The countdown has started. And just like that, Wave's going to be the first bot to go to 2-0. As you can see in the replay, it looked like Alien was going to win this fight based on what we saw in the first 30 seconds. Just bullying Wave around the box, getting good flips left, right, and center, and looked like there was no way that things could go wrong until it did. In this flip right here, they broke the flipping arm, and at that point they were left without a weapon. They did put up a good fight, but eventually Wave's superior spinner was able to take the victory and proved about the 2-0. Next up in the box, we had the return to the Brazilian drum spinner, Minotaur. Unfortunately, things didn't go so well for them in their last match against Pump Up. They got pushed up onto their back, they couldn't get up and over again, and the fight was over just like that. they're going to do a lot better against their new opponent, Heartbreak. Unfortunately, Heartbreak had a good fight against Hydration, that is, until Hydration just flipped them out of the arena. Both these bots are 0-1 and don't want to go to 0-2. This is a fight for survival. Let's head down to the box. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. The two robots collide with each other. Both have a lot to lose here. If they get a second loss, the chance of getting to the top 32 could be over then and there. The side panel of Minotaur comes off. That's early damage points from Heartbreak. But Minotaur gets some control points by putting them into the pulverizer. Oh, there goes the top panel of Minotaur. I'm surprised to say this, but it would seem that Heartbreak is winning on damage, and they're continuing to do so as they bring that hammer down on Minotaur. Minotaur still not giving up. They want to be as aggressive as possible. They rip a piece off of Heartbreak as a piece of retaliation, and into that same pulverizer once again. Heartbreak just surviving these hits so far and getting some counter shots of their own. We're not even a full minute into this, and it's been a good back and forth fight. And now into the other pulverizer goes Heartbreak. Minotaur actually acting more like a control bot than a spinner right now. They're not doing a lot of damage right now, but they are pushing Heartbreak all around the box. That could be really critical. And now into the other wall, Minotaur just trying to get some good hits in with that drum spinner. Heartbreak getting fumbled around. Oh, Heartbreak. Now they're getting some retaliation. Oh, and pushes Minotaur into the side. They're on their side. This is some good work from Heartbreak. That was great. This is awesome so far. Heartbreak still trying to see what to do, bringing down that hammer. I don't know if they're going to be doing any more damage, but Minotaur kind of naked right now. They've lost a bunch of their panels, but that drum is still going at full blast. It can always be dangerous. Oh, but now they get pushed into the pulverizer. A lot of pulverizer use during this fight. Heartbreak has their own hammer anyways. Oh, that was a huge slam right into the camera. And Minotaur's just grinding the bottom of Heartbreak, and they need to catch them on points. They know they need to. They're winning the ground game. Another piece comes off of Heartbreak, it would seem. Oh, toss it to the side into the pulverizer once again. And this is just a really good back and forth fight. Minotaur just trying to tear pieces off of Heartbreak to counteract the early damage done on them. Oh, good hit by Minotaur right then and there. Heartbreak getting shoved into the wall. A few pieces coming off there, as it would seem. Heartbreak really needs to bounce back here. Here comes the hammer once again. I've lost count of how many hammer shots they've gotten on them. Minotaur pushing into Heartbreak yet again. As you see in the clock, we only have 40 seconds left in this matchup. And right now it's anyone's game. Into the side once again. Oh, Minotaur put on his back for a second. Oh, that could have gone so wrong. That's how they lost last time. They could have easily lost then and there if they didn't get flipped over. And now they get inverted once again. Heartbreak is being as aggressive as possible. Just bringing down a hammer anytime they can. They don't care about how dangerous that jump spinner could possibly be. Minotaur, they haven't been doing. Oh, that was a great shot by Minotaur. They almost got Heartbreak out of the arena there. That was so close. Heartbreak slammed into the wall. They're trying to self-right. They're stuck on the screw box a little bit. Oh my goodness, the entire hammer arm gets ripped off. They're stuck on the screws, and just like that, the fight is over with that kind of impression. Just look at the carnage and pieces splayed around the box by these two heavyweight hitters. I wouldn't want to be a judge. But this is going to the judges, and this is going to be one of the closest fights we ever had. Both bots did a ton of damage to each other. Both got tons of control. Both were aggressive as possible. This was a huge back and forth fight. Minotaur getting stuck on Heartbreak there. Heartbreak taking advantage. Minotaur almost KO'd itself a few times. They almost KO'd Heartbreak getting him out of the arena. But this was the kill shot right here. They got rid of the hammer, got stuck on the screws, and that might be what sways it for them. We have a split decision. The winner is Minotaur! What an incredible and back and forth fight. Now, before I get into our next fight, it's time to take a look at one of the bots that will be in tonight's main event. It's the lifter of Inverse. Our next matchup includes the currently 1-0 bot, Tough. This lifter bot was able to get a spectacular win against Chompy by lifting him out of the arena. They'll be going up against Length, a grabber bot that unfortunately got torn apart in their last match against Magnitude. With all that out of the way, let's head down to the box. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. We have the 1-0 Tough going up against the 0-1 Length. Length put on its side. That's not a good start. Tough coming in for the kill, using that lifter spectacularly, and they're just controlling Length all around the box. We're barely a few seconds in, and this is already Tough's fight to lose. Length really needs to get in there and use those claws. Oh, they're back. Oh, and they do exactly that. They got a good grab on Tough, trying to put him through the screws. That's spectacular. Oh, but Tough retaliates, pushing him over all around. They're not giving Length enough time to do anything. Oh, nearly gets stuck in the screw. And this has just been all Tough all the time. Tough is not showing any mercy. They could leave Length on their side to be counted out, but that's not good enough for them. Oh, instead they throw him out of the arena. Tough has won this fight. They go to 2-0. All I can say is pure perfection from Tough. They never gave Length enough time to do anything. Length got one good grab in, but that was just it. It was instantly nullified. Tough just using that lifter to their advantage. Length never got a chance to really do anything. Tough just pushed them all around the box, flipped them every time they got, just kept being as aggressive as possible. Eventually, it all paid off. They got him near the sidewall, got him out of the arena, and just like that, Tough gets their second win of the season. For our next match, we have the 1-0 Gridlock going up against the 0-1 Smasher. We're not going to waste any time here. Let's just head down to the box. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Oh my gosh, you should. Oh, another huge deflection courtesy of Smasher into Gridlock. Gridlock only 7 seconds in. Oh, they've lost their weapon. And this match is insane. Despite it barely lasting 10 seconds, Gridlock still a good wedge bot. They just slammed into Smasher several times until once and for all their weapon just broke off. They're on the back foot now. Oh, never mind. And just like that, Smasher's on its side. They cannot self-right. This is how they lost to the Three Musketeers earlier this season. They're getting counted out. And just like that, Gridlock is going to go 2-0 and take the victory. Despite how short this fight was, there was so much to talk about. Gridlock just slamming into Smasher, deflecting them upwards, destabilizing them a few times, almost got him flipped over. They lost their weapon. That was very discouraging, but they didn't care. They kept slamming into Smasher, and eventually it paid off. They were able to push him into the wall, get him stuck on their side. They couldn't self-right, and just like that, the fight was over once and for all. We've reached the halfway point of the episode, and we've already seen some incredible fights. Speaking of incredible fights, let's see one of the bots to be in tonight's amazing main event. It's the current champion, Bite Force. Our next fight is another battle between 1-0 bots. First up we have Blacksmith. They got a win over Duck. It wasn't pretty, but they were able to take the victory in the end. They'll be going up against Pump Up, who we already talked about got a good win over Minotaur. They use a special wedge attachment in that fight, and they'll be doing that again this time. They have a new wedge that's meant to be as low to the ground as possible to win the ground game against Blacksmith. Let's see which one of these two bots will go to 2-0. Three, two, one. Let the bots battle between the two worlds meet head to head, and oh, this is bad. Already the little wedge of Pump Up has come off, and their weapon is essentially useless now. They can't get underneath Blacksmith. They're pushing them into the side, but without that wedge, they can't get underneath them. They can't flip them, and I don't know what they're going to do now. They're already handicapped 15 seconds into this match, and Blacksmith is using this to their advantage. They're bringing down the hammer every chance they get. Not sure how much damage they're going to do, but they actually have a functioning weapon. Pump Up is going to need to pull out something spectacular to come back from here. Oh, slammed to the wall. Here comes the polarizer and the hammer of Blacksmith. Pump Up just getting a double dose of hammer, and this just is painful to watch. Pump Up still doing their best to sub Blacksmith around the box, but as we talked about, without that wedge, they can't flip them over, and their weapon just isn't as effective. What is effective is the hammer of Blacksmith, just landing down shot after shot. May not be doing a lot of visual damage, but you know, that could be doing something to the internals of Pump Up. Not to mention, it's definitely scored points to the judges. Although at this rate, we might not head to the judges. This is just not good. Pump Up pushing Blacksmith. They haven't given up. I gotta commend them for that. Blacksmith getting underneath them with their wedge, still attached, slamming to the wall in more pain. And oh, they're pushing them upside down. They should be able to self-right, but at this point, I'm not so sure. Getting hit from the bottom. This is just the worst possible scenario for Pump Up. Just in a lot of pain, damage being inflicted, and just hammer time. And oh, the entire base plate of Pump Up has fallen off. And I think that's going to be it. The robot is in separate pieces. They're not moving, obviously. And this fight is over. Blacksmith will improve to 2-0. You gotta feel bad for Pump Up. As soon as that wedge broke off, there's nothing they could do. It doesn't matter how great that lifter is. It was never gonna get underneath Blacksmith, and they were never gonna get many shots in. Blacksmith, on the other hand, got as many shots in as they wanted. Pump Up was basically defenseless. It did push him around a bunch. Blacksmith eventually got underneath Pump Up. They pushed him upside down. And before they had a chance to self-right, they just brought down a hammer on the bottom of that robot. The entire bottom panel fell off, and Pump Up was split into at least 3 different parts. Just an absolute merciless fight, courtesy of Blacksmith. Our next matchup is a fight between two very unique robots with unique weapons. We have Quickshot, who unfortunately lost their last match. They'll be going up against the rubber band flipper of Tension, who also didn't do so well in their first match. Both these bots are 0-1. Another thing they have in common is that both of their weapons don't have unlimited uses. Quickshot only has free projectiles, and Tension cannot retract their flipper after they fire it. Because of this means that this fight will come down to who can use their weapon more effectively. Let's head down to the box. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Quickshot, immediately getting a quick shot on Tension. Fires that main projectile right in their face. Doesn't do too much. They're firing the side missiles now. Tension just trying to get into that flipper. They can only fire it once. They don't want to miss. They just need one good shot to win this fight. And it would seem that, oh, they just got it. They got that one good shot. Quick shots upside down. They cannot self-right. Tension has just won this fight using their one and only flip. They will improve to 1-1, while Quickshot goes to 0-2. Not too much to say about this fight. Quickshot's projectiles were basically useless against Tension. They fired all 3 of them directly in there. Didn't do any damage. Tension, on the other hand, they used their one flip. They flipped Quickshot over. Simple as that. They couldn't self-right. And just like that, Tension gets a much-needed win. Here we are. We have reached our main event. A fight between two 1-0 bots who have a long history with each other. Let's start off with Inverse. Inverse is currently 1-0 after getting a spectacular win over Never Saw It Coming, in which the lifter bot pushed them right out of the arena. Now Inverse has moved up and is in tonight's main event, and it's a special one as it's a rematch against their arch nemesis and reigning champion, Bite Force. As already mentioned before, Bite Force and Inverse have already fought 2 times last season, and Bite Force won both those fights. Now it is worth noting that this is technically a different version of Bite Force than the one that has previously fought Inverse. However, as we saw in their main event win against Slick last time around, this bot can be just as, if not more deadly than the last version that won it all last time. Inverse knows this, so they've come prepared. They have a new wedge attachment specifically for this version of Bite Force. They're hoping to stick that tongue underneath the bottom of Bite Force and flip him over and control the bot as much as they can. Comparing the two bots' weapons side by side, Bite Force's vertical spinner is obviously the most dangerous weapon in the battle. However, the lifter of Inverse has proved to be very capable of controlling opponents around in the past, so it really is a battle of brain versus brawn here. Winning this matchup would mean a lot for Inverse, as not only would they go 2-0, but with a win over the reigning champion, their chances of getting to the top 32 would be almost guaranteed. With all that out of the way, let's get into this main event rematch. Three, 2, 1. Let the bot main event begin. And already Inverse has succeeded. They've gotten underneath Bite Force. They flipped over. The plan has worked. And now they're getting hit by the Pulverizer. Bite Force loses one of those wedgelets. That's not good. They lose their top panel. And already this is some of the most damage you've ever seen done to Bite Force. Inverse is doing spectacularly well. Oh, well, not then. They're getting pushed through the screws. That's how they lost one of the other times they've lost to Bite Force. But they don't want to lose this match, and they might not have to. There goes some of the more wedgelets of Bite Force. They only have one wedgelet left. Oh, and they retaliate by taking a piece off of Inverse. They're only 30 seconds into this fight, and it's a good back-and-forth matchup. Inverse just getting shoved into the wall. They've been doing good so far, but they can't let up for even a second, or Bite Force will capitalize. Inverse are trying to get underneath Bite Force once again. It should be easier now that most of the wedgelets are gone. Bite Force is really slipping right here. We never see them struggle like this. Oh, getting stuck on a piece of debris. Ooh, getting lifted up again. And Inverse is showing that they want revenge. And they want it now into the Pulverizer once again. It goes Bite Force. Inverse, ooh, gets a tiny lift on Bite Force once again. Bite Force just is doing not so well right now, honestly. Oh, never mind. They're getting underneath Inverse so far. Inverse really just making this a back and forth fight. They want revenge. They've already lost twice. They don't want to lose a third time. Bite Force coming in, getting from behind Inverse. Oh, here comes the Pulverizer. They're showing what they're made of. Inverse getting pummeled to death right now. Oh no, this is it. They've lost both of their drive pods. The wheels are gone. And that's it for Inverse. The lifter may still work, but they have no more wheels. There's no place left to go. Bite Force doesn't care. They want to punish Inverse just for daring to challenge them. We thought they were on top, but Bite Force showed what they're made of. The countdown is coming, and the champ is being relentless right now, showing what they're made of, showing the guts of Inverse. Inverse, they did their best, but it just wasn't good enough. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the absolute carnage laid on by these two bots. What an amazing main event fight. Look at the replay. Inverse's plan worked perfectly at first. The tongue got right underneath Bite Force. They flipped him over, and they just went to town on Bite Force, pushed him to Pulverizer. And Bite Force just took massive damage. They lost their top tongue. They lost one of the wedgelets. And Bite Force was really struggling there for a second. But that's the thing about Bite Force. You gotta be on them 100%. If you give them even a single chance, they'll come back. And that's what happened. They ripped the wheels out of Inverse. And just like that, Bite Force goes 2-0 with yet another win over Inverse. I don't know what can stop them. And just like that, we've reached the end of the night. Just to recap, Alien got torn apart by Wave. Heartbreak lost a very close fight to Minotaur. Length wasn't long enough to deal with Tough. Smasher got smashed by Gridlock. Pump Up got hammered by Blacksmith. Tension got the flip they needed to win against Quickshot. And in our main event, Inverse put up a good fight against Bite Force, but in the end, the reigning champ was too much. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.